Welcome to Refugee Tales 2020. Thank you for joining us, wherever you are. My name is David Hurd, and I'm one of the organisers of the project. Refugee Tales is a walk in solidarity with refugees, asylum seekers and detainees. The reason the project walks is to call out the fact that the UK is the only country in Europe that detains people indefinitely under immigration rules, and, in the process, to call for such detention to end. The way the project makes its call is by sharing the stories of people who have experienced indefinite detention, whether as first-person narratives or, where there is risk in disclosing identity, in collaboration with a writer. Growing out of the work of the Gatwick Detainees Welfare Group, Refugee Tales started in 2015 and has walked every summer since. We have walked from Dover to Crawley, from all points east, west and north to Westminster, and last year we walked the border from Brighton to Hastings. This year, due to the lockdown, Refugee Tales can't walk, or at least we can't walk together. We can, however, walk separately and in small groups, as we hope you will be doing according to the public health advice wherever you are in the world, and we can join in solidarity for this year's programme of events. Just as when we normally walk, when we set out to reclaim the landscape for a language of welcome. So this year we have a programme of talks, readings, music and tales. Each day will begin with a reading from the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, a document formulated to try to achieve human solidarity in the wake of a global crisis. Then, at various points in the day, timed to punctuate walking, you will be able to hear talks by people with lived experience of detention, reflections on the need for a future without immigration detention, and in the evenings, stories that communicate the brutal realities of being detained. Each evening will end with music from a range of wonderful performers who will provide a space in which we can reflect and resolve to effect change. The fact that Refugee Tales 2020 is taking place in the midst of a lockdown bears directly on the question of detention. At the beginning of the lockdown period, the Home Office released large numbers of people who were detained in acknowledgement of the fact that, in the moment of a pandemic, detention is more than ever a deadly environment. As it has in so many areas of life, COVID-19 has compelled people to think again. And just now, we are living in a moment of significantly reduced detention. It is for this reason that Refugee Tales has asked people with lived experience of detention and writers and commentators associated with the project to call for a future without immigration detention, because life after COVID-19 can and must be that future. But if the recent release of people from detention is something to be recognised and maintained, we join the call for those released to have their rights regularised as a matter of urgency. Having no recourse to public funds, people have been released from detention into destitution. At the same time, many people who have experienced detention and who for years were subject to the hostile environment and who have now secured leave to remain have worked as designated key workers throughout the crisis, as care workers, as nurses, as delivery drivers. In itself, this is the starkest of reminders that the new normal cannot be the old normal, that we cannot return to the politics of separation. In walking in solidarity with refugees, asylum seekers and detainees, Refugee Tales also stands in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. As the recent Detention Action Report has confirmed, there are few clearer manifestations of the UK's institutionalised racism than the detention estate, where the overwhelming majority of those currently detained for protracted periods are Black, Asian and minority ethnic people. The UK's policy of indefinite detention is the cornerstone of its hostile environment regime, a set of policies that institutes a racist separation. To stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter is to call for a future without immigration detention. If there is one good consequence of lockdown Refugee Tales, it is that this year, at least, anybody can join in. The project believes deeply in the shared space that comes of walking, in the opportunities for sharing stories and for the understanding that walking provides. It is by walking that, as a project, we have celebrated connectedness. It is in that mobile setting that people have shared tales. But this year, people are joining from across the world, joining in solidarity in the call for a future without immigration detention. In order that we can make that shared call vivid, please let us know via our website where you are and where you are walking. And please, when you see one, take and send us a photo of a bridge. We are making bridges this year, and we are crossing borders. Thank you for taking part in Refugee Tales.
Article 21, Paragraph 1. Everyone has the right to take part in the government of his country, directly or through freely chosen representative. Paragraph 2. Everyone has the right to equal access to public service in his country. Paragraph 3. The will of the people shall be the basis of the authority of the government. This will shall be expressed in periodic and genuine election, which shall be by universal and equal suffrage, and shall be held by secret vote or by equivalent free voting procedure.
Article 22. Everyone, as a member of society, has the right to social security and is entitled to realisation through national effort and international cooperation, and in accordance with the organisation and resources of each state, of the economic, social and cultural rights indispensable for dignity and the free development of personality.
Article 23, Paragraph 1. Everyone has the right to work, to free choice of employment, to choose and favorable condition of work, and to protection against unemployment. Paragraph 2. Everyone, without discrimination, has the right to equal pay for equal work. Paragraph 3. Everyone who works has the right to just and favorable remuneration, ensuring for himself and his family an existence worthy of human dignity, and supplemented, if necessary, by other means of social protection. Paragraph 4. Everyone has the right to form and join trade unions for the protection of his interests.
Article 24. Everyone has the right to rest and leisure, including reasonable limitation of working hours and periodic holidays with pay.
Article 25. Everyone has the right to a standard of living adequate for the health and well-being of himself and of his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social services, and the right to security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. Paragraph 2. Motherhood and childhood are entitled to special care and assistance. All children, whether born in or out the wedlock, shall enjoy the same social protection.
Article 26. 1. Everyone has the right to education. Education shall be free, at least in the elementary and fundamental stages. Elementary education shall be compulsory. Technical and professional education shall be made generally available, and higher education shall be equally accessible to all on the basis of merit. Article 26.2. Education shall be directed to the full development of the human personality and to the strengthening of respect for human rights and fundamental freedoms. It shall promote understanding, tolerance and friendship among all nations, racial or religious groups, and shall further the activities of the United Nations for the maintenance of peace. Article 26.3. Parents have a prior right to choose the kind of education that shall be given to their children.
Article 27, paragraph 1. Everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. Paragraph 2. Everyone has the right to the protection of moral and material interests resulting from any scientific, literary, artistic production of which he is the author.
Article 28. Everyone is entitled to a social and international order in which the rights and freedoms set forth in this declaration can be fully realised.
Article 29, paragraph 1. Everyone has duty to the community in which alone the free and full development of his personality is possible. Paragraph 2. In the exercise of his right and freedom, everyone shall be subject only to such limitations as are determined by the law solely for the purpose of securing due recognition and respect for the right and freedom of order, and of meeting the just requirement of morality, public order, and the general welfare in a democratic society. Paragraph 3. This right and freedom may in no case be exercised contrary to the purpose and principle of the United Nations.
Article 30. Nothing in this declaration may be interpreted as implying for any state, group or person any right to engage in any activity or to perform any act aimed at the destruction of any of the rights and freedoms set forth herein.